everyone and welcome to my channel Creative Space. In today's generation, the most harmful thing that our body can receive is radiation. And we have an industry expert, Mr. Nihar Rao, who works on this aspect. There are many ways how you can tackle this radiation. And thank you so much, Niharji, for doing this for my channel and welcome to Creative Space.
Thank you so much, Nehaji, for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here and an honor, to be in the same space where some big celebrities have been there. Um, I hope, we can have an effect like the big celebrities in educating people and living healthier, happier lives.
Yes, it is very important. So Niharji, please briefly introduce about yourself and why did you choose this field and what really motivated you to take up this and create awareness?
So, Nehaji, the thing is that many years ago, when I, was doing other things, one of my friends came across and told me that people in his family had problems. His grandmother had cancer. His children had learning disabilities. So he asked me whether, there was a cell tower on top of his house, and he asked me whether it was the problem from the cell tower. So, being an engineer and being somebody who worked on radiation and who worked on radars, etc., I was interested. And there was always this thing in the background that, look, this is dangerous. Because, you've seen it do certain things. And also the weaponization of microwave radiation had started that time. And I don't know if you remember, but in The Incredible Hulk, the first movie, there are these radar guns which they have, which, they try to shoot the Hulk with. So the weaponization had started and you knew that there was something wrong. And what we did was we measured the radiation in his house. And when we did that, we found that the radiation in his grandmother and his children's room was very high. And ironically, it was not from the tower on his house, but it was the tower in the house next door. So, this gave rise to a new set of problems where, we wanted to actually provide viable solutions for reducing the radiation in his house. And that is what actually started off the journey many years ago. Today, we have one fully granted patent, and we've applied for 3 patents in the last few months. We have our own slew of products, and we have close to 1,000 installations across the country where we actually go assess the radiation, install the solutions, and most importantly, we're 100% guaranteed that we reduce the radiation and bring it to safe levels.
That's awesome. I actually went through your website and it's so promising and it is such a necessity. I hope this creates awareness and I hope at least few people use your products and really help themselves. So my next question would be, how is radiation generated, Niharji, and which waves are really harmful to human body?
So radiation, electromagnetic radiation is what we're talking about. It's everywhere. All right. Now, electromagnetic radiation in the 50 hertz spectrum is what we use as alternating current. Electromagnetic radiation in the 0 hertz spectrum is what we use as DC, which powers our laptops, our phones, etc. Okay. Now, as we go higher up the spectrum, you have FM radio, which is in the megahertz range. 1 megahertz. You see those, AM alternating, the AM and FM radios. So they are lower frequencies. And then you get to the communication frequencies, which are slightly higher. They start off around 400 megahertz and today go up to 60 gigahertz. Okay. These frequencies are your microwave frequencies, they're called, and millimeter wave frequencies. Now, the microwave frequencies, microwave is a common term. You'd have heard it. So microwave is basically the frequencies used to cook food in your microwave oven. Now, when you have a long conversation with your mother, sister, brother, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, you say, "Kaan," you feel your ear going hot and you say, "Kaan pak gaya ekdam." तो सही में आपका कान पक गया होगा क्योंकि the radiation from your antenna in your phone actually cooks your ear, like how you heat up stuff in the microwave oven. So that's called microwave radiation. And as you go higher up the frequency, you get to your visible spectrum. That is your Vibgyor light. Light is also electromagnetic radiation. So
Yeah.
radiation is everywhere. All right. Now, after you go beyond the visible spectrum, you get the extremely dangerous radiation. Okay. Extremely dangerous radiation is your radiation in terms of your Hiroshima Nagasaki bomb radiation. Okay. That is your alpha, beta, gamma, and X rays. So, X rays is something which you use in daily life. So, that is extremely dangerous radiation. Above that is cosmic radiation, etc., which is, again, not reachable for us in terms of the frequencies. But what we specialize in is this microwave and communication radiation. All right. And the difference between microwave radiation and your extremely dangerous radiation, that is what you use your Geiger counter for, is even if you get exposed to small amounts of your Hiroshima Nagasaki radiation, you get cancer. Okay. It's just a brief thing. So that's why, X-rays are handled so carefully. But microwave radiation is sustained exposure over a period of time.
Okay.
It is not something which is immediate. But आप इस्तेमाल करते 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 आपको कुछ ना कुछ होएगा. क्या होएगा वो अपना यूजेज पे जाता है और अपना what your body, the strength of your body is what governs what happens to you. Okay. So this is what we deal in. Now, these are the radiations we deal with. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Uh, Now, my next question would be, what are the common misconceptions that people have with regards to radiation and EMF in general? In radiation, like for us, we would understand, but there would be some people who would, have certain misconceptions.
You have misconceptions when there is awareness. Most people are unaware that radiation is harmful. Now,
Oh,
you yourself, yes, most people. So I have spoken to thousands of people regarding this over the last few years. We've
yeah,
targeted children, especially because children are more susceptible to the harmful effects of this. Because number one, their bodies are smaller, their bones are smaller, and the radiation penetration is much deeper. Number two, they're going to be longer users than us. I started using mobile phone when I was in my 20s. Children start using the mobile phone when they're 20 months now. So, there's a Swedish study which actually says that if you use radiation, if you're constantly, subject to it for a period of 10 years, the probability of you getting cancer goes up by a large, large factor. So this is where, that awareness has to come more than misconceptions. You actually look at your mobile phone and you think that this is your friend, it's safe. It is not. It is actually a tool. जैसा आपका ड्रिल गन होता है, जैसा आपका वो हथौड़ा होता है, it is a tool like that. So you're not going to let your child, 2 year old, take your drill gun and use it unsupervised, but you let them use a mobile phone unsupervised. What we say is be aware when you're using this. Use it like a tool. Don't use it like a body part or a friend.
yeah. Well said, actually. And please, guys, it's not required. आपके बच्चों को जरूरत नहीं है फोन की. अगर उनको कुछ चाहिए information, please you can see and give it to them.
I have a very strong tip, and this is something we give all the people who, when we talk to, when we see small children, we educate the parents. This is very important. See, what happens is your phone is dangerous when the mobile signal is on. Okay. So what we strongly recommend is आपको बच्चे को like we've seen 2 year olds, especially in houses these days, mother is cooking, cleaning, and something has to happen because there's nobody else in the house. Film लगा दिया बच्चे को. What we suggest is download it on YouTube
हाँ.
or in any of your OTT. Download it, put your plane on airplane mode, फिर बच्चे को देना. Then the mobile is not dangerous. There's no radiation in it. That is the safest way of doing it.
Okay. Okay. And now the next question would be, what are the common mistakes or gadgets or products that people buy which are said to be radiation safe but really are not?
So, Neha ji, there are a lot of products which come, which say that you put them in your room and they say it absorbs the radiation, etc.
Yeah.
There's been a British study, including stuff which you stick on the back of your phone. There's been British studies which have conclusively proven that these don't work, number one. And this has been published in the BBC. I will share the link for that study. Number two, this is a unfunded British university study. Number two, what happens is when you put a sticker on the back of your phone, it is something called a lump load match. So it's basically a hysteresis loop which absorbs the radiation and dissipates it as heat. Okay. Now, क्या होता है जब आपका फोन आपका हाथ में है, तो every 900 milliseconds it pings to the tower. सेल टावर को वो मैसेज करके बोलता है कि मैं इधर हूं, हाय आई एम हियर. So the cell tower knows where to connect if the phone call comes in or if data has to come in, whatever. ठीक है? So what happens is it also assesses the signal strength and availability of the mobile. Now, when you put a sticker on the back of your phone, what happens is it absorbs the outgoing signal and the incoming signal. So your mobile phone feels that it is very far away from a cell tower, and your cell tower feels that the mobile phone is very far away from the cell tower. So, both these things happen, and this is an adaptive antenna in your phone. What it does is it increases the strength of your transmission signal. Now, when that happens, 90% of the signal goes this side, 10% comes this side to your body. Now, initially it would be 1000 microwatts. But when you put the sticker, because of the absorption of the sticker, it becomes 1 lakh microwatts. So 10% जो इधर आ रहा है 1000 हो गया, 10,000 हो गया. What is affecting your head? Second thing, your battery life also you see comes down when you put the sticker. That doesn't work is what is a study which has been published. Number two, misconception is if I use it, nothing will happen to me. Okay. In 2018, a 15-year-old American government-funded study was published by the National Toxicology Program. It clearly says that this causes tumors and cancer. So before it was a possible carcinogen, but this study in 2018, which was published by the American government agencies, clearly says it causes cancer. Now, cancer is the most extreme reaction, but there are other studies which are non-industry funded, which clearly show other symptoms. Okay. One of the things which we found was that autistic, so we work with functional medicine doctors who are medical doctors who practice functional medicine. I had the honor of speaking at their symposium a few months back. And what we found is that children who have autism spectrum disorders, they actually react much more to microwave radiation than other children, and children who don't have these problems. And we found that if you keep them in an environment which has no radiation whatsoever, they're much calmer, they're much more receptive, and they also recover much better. With, of course, other dietary and other precautions which need to be taken. So this is something which we have found. And one more thing we have found, Nehaji, is that people who sit, especially in offices, people who sit under Wi-Fi routers, उनका सरदर्द और थकान ज्यादा हो जाता है. Okay, and this is published. No? The study is that microwave radiation causes chronic fatigue and causes migraines.
Yeah.
So this is a published study. Now, what we have also seen in the multiple locations we have audited is when we go to an office, we see where all the radiation sources are, internal and external, and we'll be able to predict कि इसको ये problem शायद होएगा. And most of the time we're correct. So, that is something which is coming out now, and people are actually more receptive to it. And just last month, we installed this in a big university, a product. And one of the young guys, he's about 25, very fit, 6'2", very athletic guy. वो बैठा था एक जगह, तो हम लोगों ने जाके पूछा उनसे कि do you keep getting headaches? Do you keep getting tired? He said, yes. And then we installed our solutions, reduced the radiation at his place, and he has given us a written testimonial that he's no longer tired and fatigued and no headaches now.
Oh my God. It's quite an
So
achievement, and kudos to you and your team, really, for, researching, executing. It's a big project, and I mean, much required. So, I mean, great job, you guys, really.
thank you so much, Nehaji. So coming back to what you were saying about
Yeah.
misconceptions. See, there are so many things, so many people talk, and there are so many. You keep getting these clips, or those reels on your Insta feed and all that. A lot of it is are people who are not qualified to talk about this. तो
Hmm.
अब जब मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ, I have put in 7+ years of research into this. I have compiled over 20,000 published papers, and I have access to those. कि आज कोई मेरे से बात करे तो मैं उनको कोट करूंगा कि भैया ये स्टडी इस साल में हुआ जिसने ये कहा आपको. There are people who claim to be experts and who give you a lot of gyan, but may not have core understanding. So, like, how for medical now, a lot of people who are non-doctors keep talking about it.
Yeah.
Of course, some of them say stuff which is correct, and, even doctors acknowledge that, but many of them don't. So, what I'm trying to do is bring about a consistent communication about how to lead a healthy life with your devices. That is my objective. And
True. True.
I'm here to basically remove any misconceptions about that. I'd be happy to do a Q&A with your viewers anytime and
Yeah.
answer specific questions regarding that.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe the next video podcast we can do that if people have questions, common questions that can come up.
If
Yeah.
there's interest
Uh,
enough in it.
yeah. Before asking my next question, I wanted to understand. So you have specific meters or tools that can say that, this has so much radiation, right? From what you gauge. My next question would be, so now I have people around me who are also gemologists who deal into crystals and stones, and somebody who has deep understanding about stones, tourmaline stone that can actually absorb a lot of radiations around you. So, by any chance, have you done this research, or if there is a two-wheeled stone near the electronic gadgets, or in there is a meter, where they can really see if it really absorbs that kind of radiation or no? I mean, is there a, I mean, have you done this study, or are you aware about this situation? Because tourmaline stone is a very specific stone.
Okay. So I have not done this research, so I cannot comment about it. I have not read any research which was conducted, um, you know, so I cannot even comment about any other studies in this particular area.
All right.
But I met some very interesting, very intelligent people who had crystals in their environment and asked me to check whether the radiation was affected by that. So when we did perfunctory studies, this was not a lab controlled study. In the perfunctory studies we found that it may not be effective. Okay. So what I typically do for all my products and my meters, so I have specific meters which I use for radiation measurements. Okay, we
Hmm.
have two different meters. We have a field strength meter, which
Okay.
we calibrate against a known signal, and we know
Okay.
what the tolerance is. So typically,
Hmm.
it's plus or minus 5% of a calibrated meter of a calibrated signal. Okay, and then all our products are tested. We've tied up with we did this at Indian Institute of Science and also RV University. Both of these institutions have anechoic chambers which is zero radiation inside.
Okay.
Okay, so we keep our test beds in the anechoic chamber. We have signal from calibrated sources, which we know has to be this much at this point, and we measure it accordingly. We use our materials to see how much reduction in the signal is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this is done independently by the organization itself on for us and certified, as well as we do this as a part of our R&D development also.
Hmm.
So we have the test beds for this and we keep checking this. Things I've seen with crystals, a very popular person, a very, very famous very intelligent man who had a lot of these crystals in his office also had high radiation. And the radiation reduced when we installed our products.
Yeah, it would be that case, but this is a specific tourmaline stone known to attract the radiation. It is known. Your
I'd
maybe
be
for your
happy.
next
So,
research, you would
sure,
you
sure,
may.
sure. I would be happy to try it out. If it works, I'd be happy to incorporate it
Yeah,
because,
yeah,
this is something which is an added thing we can give people.
yeah, yeah. Okay, now my next question would be, how can one completely proof, their house? Which are the basic things that people can do very easily to start off with, you know?
Um, Let me give it to you without my products first, okay?
Okay.
Because my products, of course, it's a commercial thing, but let me give it to you as a person who's an expert in this field. Number one, okay, everything starts here. Your entire thing starts here. You have to be aware. There are two ways that this can harm you. Okay, when you have very low signal or when you have very high signal. So when you sit next to your Wi-Fi router and use your devices, it will harm you. When you sit very far away from your Wi-Fi router and you use your devices, it will harm you because your device becomes dangerous. Your device, the broadcast strength of your device, your laptop, your tab, your iPad, your phone, all of these start radiating more. Okay, so you need to find that optimum distance from your connection source. Now, connection source, I spoke about Wi-Fi because that's the number one connection source right now for
Yeah,
most people in urban India.
yeah.
Second, when you have your calls, don't take your calls in areas with low signals. You can actually feel your ear getting hot in few seconds. When you have a low signal, your ear starts getting hot very quickly. So that is an indicator. Your body is an indicator that there is something wrong. So go to an area which has better connectivity
Okay.
always. But for Bombay, we found this very specific thing that people in the lower floors and really high floors don't get signals. Now, if you don't get signals and you get a call, you have to basically put a call forward. You have your call forward on your phone. When you get to your house, call forward it to your landline. So what happens is automatically your radiation exposure comes down.
Hmm.
Okay. So these are small precautions you need to take when you're doing your communications, your entertainment, etc. Now, this is mindfulness. So everything comes back to your
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Now, let me talk about commercial, what we do as an agency. When we do a radiation audit, we do it typically for three types of organizations. One is a home, second is an office, third is a school. When we do it for your home, what we look at is your connectivity. We study your Wi-Fi signals as well as your connectivity signals. We tell you which areas are safe to use, which areas are unsafe to use. If the radiation from outside is high, we have three main products, which is a primer, which is like a paint which goes on your walls.
Yeah,
We have a film, which is like a film which goes on your glass. And we have mosquito mesh like substance,
yeah.
okay, which is coated with our proprietary nanomaterial blend. We use that either on your wall or on your glass as a replacement for your mosquito mesh to reduce radiation. So you don't need to use all three. You don't need to use it everywhere. Where the radiation is high, we recommend that and we install it. And we guarantee that it'll come down to safe levels without affecting your communication. And more importantly, we get back your Mera Wala green. So without changing your aesthetic. So that is most important because your house is your dwelling space. We want to
Yeah,
make it as safe and as beautiful as possible. Okay.
the primer thing that you people have come up with is awesome.
So
Great.
primer is our number one product because it is something it's like you fill it, shut it, forget it. It requires no maintenance. जब तक
Yeah.
आपका घर का पेंट रहेगा वो प्राइमर रहेगा उधर.
Ah.
And now our products are also tested and certified for 5G.
Oh, awesome.
Yes. Yes. So we're the only ones in India right now who have a 5G certified product.
Many congratulations for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. And now my next question would be, we know now that the radiation is harmful, but in today's tech savvy world, how much a person, a human body can safely consume certain amount of radiation? What do you have to say?
So I'm not saying anything. We follow a standard called ICNIRP, International Commission for Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection. Okay, ICNIRP. Now, आपका फोन का SAR rating सुना होगा आपने. It has to be less than 1.8 watts per kg. Otherwise, the Indian government will not let you sell your phone. That
Oh,
1.8 watts per kg is an ICNIRP standard. So, like that, ICNIRP has a full body exposure standard, which is 0.08 watts per kg.
okay.
We follow that and we try to assess according to those standards whenever we do a radiation audit. So, whenever I say your exposure is high, I'm basically looking at that standard and giving it to you.
Okay. Do you have any tool or product like commercially available online where people can buy that meter and install in their home and see how much the radiation is of their house? Do you have?
This
I
is
mean,
under development, Nehaji. We have got a lot of demand for this. So, one of the patents I've filed is for this particular product, and it's under development. And we're looking to raise capital to actually help us get this product to market faster.
hmm, because that will be very useful. And
This is a So we actually want to make, we'll be the only ones in the world who will have a product like this. And
wow,
it is something which is a complete product-based solution. So it is something which, globally we have a market for because it can use it anywhere in the world. And this will interface with your mobile app, which will tell you. So basically what it will do is that when you are in a particular area in your home or your office or whatever, if the radiation exposure where you're sitting is high, it'll actually warn you. If your
ah,
children are sitting in a place where the radiation is high, it'll warn you. So this is the idea, and it will also monitor different areas continuously for offices and schools, and it will let you know what the radiation is in each area at what time. So it helps you
yeah,
plan communication better. It helps you plan seating better, and that is the future. Because what happens is with 5G FR2 coming in, radiation बाहर से अंदर आ जाएगा. All your communication access points are going to come closer to you. So you need to be aware and you need to be made aware of what your exposure is at each point in time.
yeah. Definitely, that will be very handy for people, and it's amazing that people should have it. But आपके जो अभी के meters है, so that is only limited to your
No,
company.
correct. So we do radiation audits. We do audits across the country. We do installations across the country right now. So my team travels and does it right now.
It's really awesome. Okay, अब मेरा next question ऐसा होगा निहार जी that how can one proof their vehicle? गाड़ी में भी काफी radiations होते हैं. So do you have product that actually proves a vehicle? Or wear anything on a human body? कुछ ऐसे है that can, you know, it's more what you say, convenient for a person to just wear it or stick or something and go. Anything that is there?
So vehicles are the most dangerous places in terms of radiation. Now,
Hmm.
when you're doing a family trip, you have father, mother, two children, all of them on devices during the trip. Okay. And that is the truth of today's world. Now, what we say is that when you're in a car, what is inside? It's like a Faraday cage. जो अंदर है बाहर नहीं जा सकता है, जो बाहर है अंदर आके फंस जाता है और कम आता है अंदर. Okay, because only the windows are what allows windows and the glass is what allows the radiation to come through. The
Yeah.
metal body of the car will not allow the radiation to come through. So you actually see, yeah, your car signals are less. So basically, your car becomes like a microwave oven where all the radiation inside keeps inside itself and it starts cooking you. So you start feeling tired. So now you have to have some discipline when you're in the car. Okay. Again, like I said, download whatever you want to watch, whatever you want to play, and reduce your signals. Number one. Number two, if you need to keep it on, like especially communication. So when I'm driving and I have calls, etc., what I do is I keep my mobile phone with face down, the screen down. The antennas
Ah,
are typically on the back of the mobile phone. I keep it on the dashboard in the middle, as close to the glass as possible. So that gets most signal. And I use a wired hands-free kit to do my communication, or I connect it using a wire, using the aux wire to my music system. So, I get the automatic communication through that. So these are two
hmm.
things which really work for me. And they reduce my radiation exposure by almost 80%.
Oh, very much doable actually. And also, you would have the windows, like how you said, the mesh nets that you have. If something like that can be installed instead of the, I don't know if it is allowed. I don't know.
It is allowed, but it is not recommended. I will not do that for you. Already
Okay.
you have less signal coming in. What is
Ah,
there inside is inside more. So, your mobile becomes dangerous because you have no signals going out. Sab andar hi
understood.
hai. So
Understood.
if you put something to do that, then you should ensure that your mobiles are switched off before you enter your car. If you're
Ah,
willing to do that, only then you can have this particular solution work for you.
understood.
So there
Understood.
are 3% of the world's population who are called electro hypersensitive, EHS. Okay, so what happens is even a small amount of radiation has violent reactions for their body. 3% of the world population. Okay, they're electro hypersensitive. Now, people who keep getting headaches, who keep getting, dryness in their mouth when they wake up, they're unable to sleep. A lot of this has to do, keep your mobile phone out, see if there's a cell tower in your window, and you'll find that this is the problem. So people who are electro hypersensitive also have this problem in cars. So there was this peculiar case, a very well educated, well read person. He was highly electro hypersensitive. He lived under a cell tower for a long time, very close. It was above his bedroom. And he had very violent reactions to even small amounts of radiation after a period of time. This man would be driving in his car and, he would get to an intersection and all of a sudden forget where he was going. It would
Oh,
be like a complete erasure of his memory. And we found that this particular signal was about 4 or 5 cell towers were there at low levels. It was all around his car. And this man, the radiation would come and not go out, and he would just completely have a breakdown. So this is something which is common. People need to identify. Again, like I said, awareness is less. So we actually have a written by a doctor, a book on electrohypersensitivity. People who have, some doctors are unable. Sometimes doctors are unable to tell you why you get certain problems, certain pains, certain issues. This book actually has a list of all those electrohypersensitivity symptoms. So the thing you need to look at is whether you're close to a cell tower, whether your Wi-Fi router is in your bedroom, whether you sleep with your mobile phone. These are things which are, problematic. So as you increase your awareness about these pollutants, these sort of, radiation sources in your environment, you'll be able to better treat yourself with these contemporary issues and illnesses.
right, true. Following this question, so many a times it happens that people are not able to put their phone on airplane mode. There are situations where parents are living alone, or your phone have to be continuously on data mode or on Wi-Fi where there are no signals. So under such situations, how far the phone should be from your body, so at least it's at a safe distance, or if there's a message or a phone
Minimum 10 feet away from your body.
10 feet away.
10 feet. Yeah. 3 meters minimum.
Okay, okay, okay.
And one more thing is you need to switch off your Wi-Fi router at night if you're not using it.
But again,
You
that's
have
the
to sit.
situation now. Ki, if the signal somewhere, the normal data signal is somewhere not there.
If you're using it for emergencies, etc., switch off your data. Just switch off mobile data. Just use your Wi-Fi.
हाँ,
That
either.
reduces your exposure significantly. Keep it 5 feet away, 6 feet away, as much as possible. And even your Wi-Fi router should not be in your bedroom. It should be at
Huh.
least one room away, at least 10 to 15 feet away from your body.
Yes, okay, okay. And Niharji, anything else I must have missed asking you that you would like to share, and that you see commonly that people should know about this. Anything else?
I've been harping on this, and I say it again. Children are very, very susceptible to microwave radiation. Please, right from when you are pregnant to
Mhm.
when your children are small and toddlers, be aware of your sources like your Wi Fi routers, your cell towers. Be aware of your devices. Both of them need some distance and some sort of gap from you. So when you're pregnant, avoid holding your phone as much as possible. Keep it 2 feet away from your body on a stand. You get a lot of these stands for 50, 100 rupees now. Keep it on a stand on your table, sit down, even on your bed. Keep it on a stand 2 feet away from your body and then see it. Um, be very careful. The child is extremely susceptible to this radiation, as are you, as are older people. So, also, what I would say is time yourself. Put a small timer on your phone. Use it for 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever you're comfortable with. Give yourself a break for 15 minutes. Let your body recover from the radiation. Your body can recover from this radiation. It is resilient. Let your body recover from this radiation and then start using it again. So you have that gap. Don't use it for hours on end. Don't hold it for hours on end. And men, especially men, women are really smart. You people keep your cell phones in your purse. Men keep it in their top pocket. That is the worst place to keep it because it interacts with your heart, which is also an electromechanical device. Keep it in your back pocket. Whenever you sit down, keep it on the table. So, these are small habits you need to inculcate to help yourself live safely with technology. And that's what, if you go to our website, also, there are some blogs. One more thing, Nehaji, I can't stress on enough is Bluetooth earphones.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
people today wear them from morning to night. It was like almost they were born with it. And they're so convenient and so nice that you don't realize that they're actually dangerous. They actually are high radiating devices. And it's very close to your body. So please use it judiciously. Use it for a fixed amount of time. Keep it away from your body and then put it back. Give your body time to recover from that.
Yeah, and sadly, I don't know. Of course, everything has a pros and cons, but nowadays phones do not have the wire wala headphones, earphones ka thing. Nowadays they're
So
all
yeah,
wireless.
yes, they're all wireless and they're trying to make everything wireless. So I mean, what has to happen is you have to become a little more aware.
Yeah.
You have to become a little more aware of your surroundings, of your devices, of the radiation from the devices, and then move accordingly. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Because I'm not asking you to stop using wireless. You can't. Today's life is such that you can't live without wireless. What we tell you is live safe with wireless.
So how much does do you charge to get a house assessed or a corporate office assessed, so that people can live a healthier lifestyle?
Yeah. So we basically are Bangalore based. If we need to come to Bombay or any other city, we charge travel and stay expenses. But
Yeah.
our cost for radiation audit is 5,000 rupees plus GST.
Okay.
So if you have 4 or 5 people who come together, it's a minuscule rate because my engineers come do the radiation audit, and typically within 3 working days you'll get the report with. So our radiation audit has you study in terms of what the radiation is. We have the spectrum analysis in terms of what signals are there, where it's coming from, and what its strength is. We give you your exposure in terms of SAR. We also give you recommendations in terms of what needs to be done in which specific areas, okay, for reduction of radiation. And finally, we give you an estimate in terms of what it is going to cost you to protect yourself,
Ah, okay.
if required. If it is not required, we tell you it's not required. The reason we charge is because it gives us the ability to be honest, to tell you the real thing.
Yeah. Mm. Thank you for such an insightful content, and it was very, very important, and I was looking forward for this, and I hope it has inspired many people. At least do the needful, the basic तो आप कर ही सकते हो, तो आप please कीजिए. And if you have any more questions जो मैंने miss किए होंगे पूछने के लिए, definitely comment section में आप डाल दीजिए. I am sure Nihar ji would be able to help us on that. So thank you once again, for doing this for my channel.
Thank you very much, Neha ji. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Same, same.
Thank you.
Thank you.